Hi, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Foreclosure Advocacy Marketing. Wow, that's a mouthful. My name's LeeHonish. I am joined on the call today, as always, by David Bartels. You can reach David at HomeLoanAdvocates.com. You can reach me at LeeHonish@yahoo.com. Our information's in the show notes. You can Google and find us as well. All of this revolves around what we call the Monster Marketing Program and the Advocate Marketing Program. They are all marketing methods designed to get you face-to-face with homeowners that are actively in default. I know the market is changing. I know that people are having difficulties making their payments. The value of property is kind of starting to drop, right? So we decided to turn our weekly coaching call, or at least a portion of our weekly coaching call for our students, into a podcast that people could listen to on a national basis. We're kind of out in front as we were before. I'm a former head loss mitigator for IndyMac Bank's HELOC division. David is the largest short sale negotiator in the United States. We're seeing a little bit of a market change, so we decided to share our weekly coaching call with our students, with all of you. So if you're not a coaching student, enjoy the information. Hopefully it's beneficial to you. We do talk about niche marketing. It is specifically about pre-foreclosure. And if you want to get a hold of us or learn more, just send me an email, LeeHonish@yahoo.com. If you have a question about a short sale or you have a file or anything, really, David at HomeLoanAdvocates.com. After a couple of commercials, sorry, got to pay the bills, we'll be back with this week's coaching call. So our format, standard topic, usually the first 15, 20 minutes are the topic of the day, and we're still talking about all the negative press on the bubble happening from last week, David's perspective here in Southern California, my perspective on a national basis, and then we talk about actual marketing for pre-foreclosure properties. So again, enjoy. If you want to subscribe, it's available. Just go to iTunes or Android or wherever. Just type in pre-foreclosure, 2 words, pre-foreclosure, advocate marketing. That should bring it up. If not, you can type in LeeHonish, or however you're listening to this right now. You'll probably get another copy next week. There are probably links in the email or the notes as well. We again appreciate everybody for listening. Thanks.
LasVegasDiscount.net's the best there is. Save up to 50% on your next Vegas trip. And travel, rental, shows, and tours. Find the deals you're looking for. LasVegasDiscount.net. LasVegasDiscount.net. If you're going to Vegas for deals that are the best, visit LasVegasDiscount.net.
Are you a real estate agent, realtor, investor, or are you in the real estate business and you need new listings and deals? We have a solution for you, and that solution has guaranteed results. How much would you pay to get face-to-face with a homeowner that wants to sell their home? What if you also got their email address and daytime phone number? And what if this homeowner also scheduled you to come to their door at a set time to meet with you? Sound too good to be true? It isn't. And it is 100% guaranteed for you to meet face-to-face with a real homeowner who really needs to sell their home. Not only will you get this remarkable contact system and its 100% guarantee, at no additional charge, you will get weekly coaching, documents, and training on how to get that homeowner and convert them into a new listing. When you purchase, you'll also get a one-on-one walkthrough so that you can start using the system today. Visit www.thelistingmonster.com. That's www.thelistingmonster.com. Or call Diana Ortiz at 213-706-0040. Stop wasting time the old way. Use a monster and get actual results today.
And hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's coaching call. It is August 1st. I am joined, as always, by David Bartels of Home Loan Advocates. As you can see in the notes, or how you're listening to this, or if you're here live with us It's David at Home Loan Advocates. David, tell us a little bit about your services that you provide.
Well, Home Loan Advocates is a real estate consulting firm that specializes in complex bank negotiations and foreclosure avoidance. Though we don't charge for foreclosure avoidance or even help to get loan modifications for the purpose of avoiding foreclosure. So I guess you would call us a short sale negotiator, and to our knowledge, nobody in America does more short sales than we do right now. And if you need help with a short sale, they're free most of the time, 72% of the time. You could call me at 805-413-8000, 805-413-8000, or email me, David at HomeLoanAdvocates.com. That's advocates, plural.com.
So we have started to produce these weekly coaching calls as podcasts for the benefit of the coaching students and for the general public, mainly because I feel that there is a turn occurring in the market. Well, at least certainly a perception. For those of you who don't know, my name's LeeHonish. I am the inventor of the marketing system called the Monster Marketing System that we all use to help us get pre-foreclosure properties. This coaching call, however you're listening to it, for those of you that are live, Stephen, Oscar, Marlene, all of you, I want to make it clear because we have a brand new group of people that aren't normally on the call. This is live. I will take all your questions. Go ahead and load them up. So we like to break this down two ways. We generally have a topic right at the beginning, and the second part is usually questions in regards to marketing. If that's beneficial to you and you are not one of our coaching students, that's fantastic. If you need help with a short sale or you're in the Southern California area and you're having difficulty with a property, give David a call. If you're interested in marketing where you get guaranteed results, all you got to do is type in thelistingmonster.com. It's as simple as that. Onwards and upwards. So a week ago, David, apparently everybody started to write articles that we had reached the apex of the real estate market. And I am completely amused at that situation because now everybody wants to be right, like it's 2007 all over again. I don't think that that's what this is going to look like. I do believe that we've reached an apex, and certainly we're seeing a cooling off period. I think the first number that I really want to throw out and get your reaction about is 3.74. For those of you who don't know what that is, 3.74 is the amount of all delinquencies. In a couple of weeks, I will try to get our friend Darren Blomquist from Realty Track on one of these coaching calls to talk about numbers and what he foresees. But I read his late July release, and the default rate in general is 3.74. Why is that a significant number, David, based on what we know historically about defaults?
Well, I don't know where it was, like in the last year, but I know that the system was built to withstand 4% defaults. And so when we had the crash, that number, I don't know, how high did it go? 8, 9%? I mean, it went really high. And that was it. So this is nothing like 2008, what we're experiencing here. The truth of the matter is why the market is shifting. What it's really doing is just normalizing. So in 2008, it really swung to the buyer's advantage across the board. And today it's not really, it's only a buyer's advantage above $1 million. That's only because there aren't that many $1 million buyers because affordability has kind of gotten a little tougher. We had a glut of inventory as people rushed to sell their properties in 2008. We don't have a glut of inventory. Inventory has only ticked up. This market has an inventory shortage under $600,000. It's still it's more of a neutral market, 600 to $1 million, and over $1 million, it's a buyer's market. Now I'm in Ventura County. You could go to Orange County and it may be a seller's market above $1 million, depending on the demand. So I'm really hyper focused on my market. So everyone's got to pay attention to their local data. The number to watch is really absorption rate. What's the absorption rate? So a 6-month absorption rate is normal. That's what a normal, healthy market looks like. And my absorption rate is 3.8 months right now. So that means it's still mostly a seller's market. It's just moving more towards neutral. So, whether or not it's the apex, I don't really know. Maybe this is beginning of a long-term slowdown. I don't know, but I doubt it. Okay, so, I think that things are just going to drift sideways. And depending on where you are in the price range, the prices will drift up a little. If you're on the lower end price ranges, prices are still going to be flat to up. And if you're in the more expensive price ranges, prices are probably going to be flat to down. And whatever decline that we see is going to be very gradual. It's going to tick down a half a point. It's going to tick down a point. And but it's certainly not a crash more than it is just a settling down and a normalization of the market, as we've been in a very strong seller's market for a few years now. And it looks like we're going to move more towards a neutral market, which is overall good. Now, in terms of the foreclosure data itself, the delinquency data itself, I think that number has kind of been in this range a long time. It might be slightly higher than it was. And the market can certainly withstand that, but it does create opportunity for people like me and you who are looking to list those properties or to buy those properties, depending on your perspective. So we've seen, and on the short sale negotiating side, we've seen an uptick in new applications the last 30 days, which is a very pleasant surprise to us. And we don't see short sales going away. We don't see distressed properties going away. When you think about 3.8%, let's put that in perspective. I just happen to have a calculator on my desk. So if there are 50 million houses with mortgages, okay, I need one more zero, times 0.038. I think that's what you said.
Yep.
That's 1,900,000 houses that are delinquent.
Okay, so
1 million. So there's 2 million houses. Let's call it 2 million. And I don't know what portion California is of that, but it's the biggest piece of the pie for sure.
Well, okay, and here's why I bring it up. You've been in business long enough, and you do business on a national level as well as a large business on a local level. Just looking at that number 2 million, is it feasible that there are, and I've always said this, when you're looking at data sources from a marketing standpoint, especially a changing market, when you're looking at niche, I mean, I'm sure that probate would be a competitive number, but you've got the legal headache, right? So what's that really leave? Divorce, which is kind of iffy when it comes to data. I know that agents want to lean on expired as a data source, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I don't think there's 2 million expired listings out there to go chase after.
Oh, there's not, and there's not, and these 1.9 million, let's call it the $2 million houses that are delinquent, they're not all for sale, and they're not all going to go for sale. Many of them are going to end up in foreclosure because they're going to, they're just not going to give up hope, that they're going to be able to convince the bank to have mercy on them. And they're going to lose their house. I don't know what percentage will end up in foreclosure. I do know, and I know you agree because we've talked about it many times, is that once they get 90 days delinquent, they're either foreclosing or selling, but they are not keeping the house. It's just a matter of when they're going to lose their house and how they're going to do it. Are they going to do it voluntarily or are they going to do it involuntarily?
Right. It's a very small percentage, and we've talked about it repeatedly. What I wonder is, especially with the short sale work that you do, I've said this, I said it on another call, and I said it to somebody else recently. I don't even think it's necessarily what the market's really doing. I believe it to be the market perception. And I think that there are a lot of people who see the downward tick and they're looking at the numbers, and Realty Track is painting gloom and doom.
All I'm saying is